honestly. You won't need no permission to turn up. It's that real Southern soul. It's that real metal. We eat good, talk slick, roll tide, we super lit. Eat good, talk slick, war eaters, we super lit. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, I'm real. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, and I'm real. About to go some bread, yeah, that's how we do. All my bustin' at the turn, telling them what to do. Be your hands on the grass, while my cousins, they shaking there. Big bro blowing that green, trying not to be seen. Roll tide, we super lit. Eat good, talk lit. War eater, we super lit. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, I'm real. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, and I'm real mean. Hey.
We're in a beautiful state. City to city, town to town.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing tonight, man? Please share the page, share and share alike. Today we're talking to the great Lorenzo A. Martin Sr. as he getting ready for the mass shift in Pritchard, Alabama. I thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. We're going to get a little bit about Pritchard, see what way and what direction he's trying to take the great city of Pritchard, Alabama. So tune in. If you're from Pritchard, please give a thumbs up and a share. If you got family members still live out that way, please give them a share and get them a like and get them to come to the page tonight as we talk to this amazing guy. This guy is a native of Alabama. He was born and raised in Bessemer, moved down the Bay, came back to Pritchard to make it a home for him and his family. He's been working hard, leadership guy, own a clothing store. He's a great man, got his own hot sauce brand, an entrepreneur. And ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I'd like to bring in the incompetent Mr. Lorenzo Martin. How we doing, Mr. Martin?
Hello, how you doing? To you and your listening audience.
Thank you so much for coming in, man. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to make a run on this politics right now. We got a lot going on. I always start off with you please letting the people and the city of Pritchard community let them know a little bit about yourself.
Well, yeah, I was born and raised in Bessemer Project. And my grandparents, Lorenzo and Sally B. McPherson. And of course, my mom's parents, my maternal side of the family, Lorenzo also has a junior son, which is my father. And then my grandfather, Samuel and Evelyn Martin from Trinity Gardens. So a lot of my teenage years was there in Trinity Gardens, and a combination of both Pritchard and Trinity Gardens. My mom married and then moved to Navico, and I was able to attend the great Williamson High School that graduated in 1991. I decided to follow in the footsteps of my grandfather, who was a merchant marine. I did that exact same thing and went off to Piney Point, Maryland. I noticed that that wasn't what I wanted to do. And sad to say, my brother was killed during that process, black on black crime. It totally changed my concept of life. It caused me to want to then do criminal justice in college. So I then went off to college, and I moved to Pritchard when I was 21 years old. And of course, life started happening with children, with getting married. It was a beautiful thing to reside right there in Pritchard. Not only did we live in my first home, but we also built a new home for the family. So Pritchard have been where we have resided for the last 33 years. Of course, I am a business owner. My business is located in the city of Mobile, but we have business that is located in Pritchard. Hayes Davis is a company that we own that we have extended out of the city of Prichard. And we also have the hot sauce, which we've extended out of the city of Prichard. So as many things as possible, we've tried to embark upon and bringing those things to Prichard. Right now, I have served a 2-term as council for District 1. I ran for mayor in a runoff in this last election, but now I'm running again for mayor in the city of Prichard. That's just a short version of who I am. I have a wife, of course, Valerie, and I have 4 kids, 4 beautiful kids that we've all reared right there in the city of Prichard. My children attended Blount High School. And we also have an 8-year-old that's right now attending school that we're raising in that area. Prichard have been a great place, a beautiful place, a wonderful place for us to raise our family. That's one of the things we want to encourage others, that Prichard is a safe place to come. Me being a Mobilian, me being raised in Prichard as a young man, I know now that it's safer than it ever been before. And sometimes the myth about it changes things. There are some things that need to be changed. There are some areas in our police department that has to be changed, that we must pay attention to. There's some things in our fire department, of course, in our public works. But in doing so, this has been a place that we have resided and we have loved it from day one. And we've encouraged others and we've had others to move into the city because of that. So I'm so happy to be on this platform. And is there any other question that you have for me? I'm here to answer them. And we are so happy to be able to attend it for the Low podcast, also with the great audience that they have that's listening.
Thank you so much, man. This is the Southern Soul Podcast powered by Big Truck Entertainment. We are talking to the great Lorenzo A. Martin Sr. as he's gearing up for August the 26th to be voted in as mayor of the city of Prichard. First question I would like to ask, y'all have had a lot of controversy about the water crisis in Prichard. If you get blessed to get this mayorship, what will be the terms or your first direction of taking the city of Prichard water system?
And of course, like I said before, I live here. So we all as citizens have a right to go to our own faucet that we're paying water for, to be able to have a glass of water if we choose to. And a quality of life is also meaning quality water. And we cannot ask citizens to preside in a city without quality water. I stand with the citizens on a decision. Right now, we have a system that need to be repaired and a system that need to be restored. Of course, we've been on the leading edge of trying to make a difference and causing the city to maybe consider wells, to cause us to maybe consider another source to buy water. But right now we're in a place where we're in the need of $100 to $150 million to bring this system up to code, up to standard for the citizens of Prichard. And in doing that, we're not out here by ourselves. So us reaching out to our state, to our local government, and also to our federal government, which we have spoken to, that possibly have funds that could restore the system back to its rightful place. That is a quality that we have to have in the city of Prichard. We cannot have a damper on us that we cannot provide water. You can't ask a person to build a beautiful home for their family and they can't drink the water. The water is only good for watering your grass. That's just un-American and unacceptable. So one of the main things that we are going to do is make sure that we're accountable to the citizens on our water and our water sewage. Right now, we have a receiver. The judge have appointed someone to oversee the Prichard water. We currently do not have a board that's active and in place. So we're going to have to know the numbers. We're going to have to know, what are you doing with the current revenue that you're receiving and where are you expending those funds? And do that helps and benefit us in the long run? Those are questions that the mayor, myself, on August 26th would have for the current receiver that's overseeing the Prichard water and sewer.
Well, the politics part of it, the normal citizen will want to know, what about the high rate bill that they paying in the city for the water system that they barely get to use? Would that affect their bill any as going down? Or have you considered what angle you would go in to help them with that water bill?
If we're not able to acquire additional funds, then that means the cost of restoring the system would then be on the citizens, and that's not fair. Of course, that will cause a rate increase. We do not need a rate increase. We need to decrease the rate currently that we have. Of course, we're buying our water from Mars. And of course, there's possibly some other options that we may be able to consider. But as of right now, we only have one source. Mobile only have one source, and that's out of Big Creek Lake. So we're going to have to deal with that portion. I think from a water board standard, we have to minimum our costs to the citizens. The minimum cost right now is a minimum, I think, of $55. Even if you do not use your water, you're going to be charged that amount. I think you have to be charged only what you're using. If you're not using any water, you shouldn't be charged any water. Of course, our sewage is based upon the water usage and what goes in your toilet and your drains. That too has to be revisited, because if you're not using it, you shouldn't be charged. Another thing, we have to have an emergency response to those who are having leaks. If someone calls or think that they're having a leak, that has to be attended to immediately, because you can't go days and hours with running water. It's going to increase the bill that no one could pay. And a lot of times it's on the citizen side, but many times it's on the water board side of some areas that need to be corrected. A simple app could correct a lot of our problems. If you have an issue, if you see water coming out of the ground, or if you think your neighbor house water is running, they're out of town, then you can go to the app, reach out to the local department to be able to have a response to that area to make sure we don't have leaking water. We cannot waste water. If the water is going to cost what it costs, it has to be dollar for dollar. We cannot lose water if we're going to charge the citizens this outright price only because water was spilled. And it could be the cause of the water board, and very well sometimes be the cause of the citizen. But when you don't know, you can't do anything about something that you don't know. So I think we have to have a system in place, not only an app, but also a response team that's able to respond for a possibility of leak, so we can fix that problem immediately.
Okay, that's great. I'm hoping all that get to work out. Your relationship with the Mobile County Sheriff Department, if you make it in office, what direction would you be able to sit down with them and come to terms where y'all can all get on one accord and one page?
Well, I've served on the sheriff flotilla, so I'm familiar with the sheriff department and a lot of his staff. And of course, I've had a conversation with current Sheriff Birch. And of course, not being the mayor, maybe there's a lot of limited things that he can share with me. But right now, not only are they doing our investigations of murders and certain crimes, but they're also now patrolling. That is a red flag. There's something that's going on. There's something that's going awry. And right now, we're going to have a solid police department just as equal to the water. You can't ask a person to go to bed at night not knowing that they're secure, or even go to work in the morning not knowing that someone's going to patrol their street to man their investments. So right now, that is a top priority. Of course, on my list of goals, that's one of the things we have to have acknowledgement about: where are we going, where we are, and what the future look like for us for the city of Prichard. It may include some partnership, but it has to be known. It can't be something done accidentally. It can't be something done only because there was a lack. Right now, they're responding to lack of having officers and lack of having response time. That cannot exist. If we want to grow the city from a revenue standpoint, from a business standpoint, that's one area that we have to overcome. We have to have a solid police department.
Yes, you do, for sure. The city of Prichard is growing majorly in the downtown area. If you see fit in your first term, what direction of growth you feel be beneficiary for the city downtown Prichard?
Right now, what we have is use a similar example of Downtown Alliance in Mobile. We have an opportunity to combine our Highway 45 and our Wilson Avenue through Prichard Avenue and what I call the U. This is a business district for the city of Prichard, so that we can counter what we don't have downtown to what we do have on US Highway 45, and vice versa. There's some things that we have on 45 that can counter some of the things we do not have downtown. But we have a host of activities and functions that we host. Let's host them downtown. But we have abandoned buildings that can be occupied. One of the simple things that we can occupy a building with is insurance. We do not have an insurance company in the city of Prichard. Let me say it again. We do not have an insurance company in the city of Prichard. We're insuring our homes too. We're insuring our cars. We have life insurance. That doesn't cost as much to relocate. Of course, I am a businessman, so I understand the costs associated with relocating your business. But right now, with the support of the city, encouraging business owners of the needs of the city, I think we can put a light on the city to show that this is a great place to raise your growth in sales, to raise your crowd of your traffic in whatever business that you may have. Prichard has a great place for that because MLK pours into Wilson Avenue. Wilson Avenue takes you, of course, through the city of Prichard onto Chickasaw and into Sharyland. So we have a lot of traffic that passes through our downtown, but we have to find businesses that would attract them to stop, to get out of their car and come and do business at the city of Prichard.
Yes. How would you address the youth violence that's going on in the world today? Not just Pritchard, Mobile, Saraland, Central Nell, Alabama in a whole. Your mayorship, I'm quite sure the citizens, the elderly citizens are worried about the youth violence. So as you enter office, what would be the first thing you would do to help with the youth violence in the city of Pritchard?
One thing about government, you can't do government without communicating. You can't raise kids and raise our youth without some communication. We have to have some communication from young, from small. I'm a 20-year plus coach in the community, and I know that I never met a bad kid. You met a kid that's trying to away. You met a kid that has some struggles at home that may act out in public. But if you have that communication to find out what is the source, what is the problem, not only that, you can't just say no. You have to be able to say yes. You can't just say you can't do something. You have to give them an alternative, something they can do. We have to have a solid park and recreation department. Of course, when you say park and recreation, that's just not your football and baseball and basketball, your traditional sports, which we have both males and female boys and girls now playing those sports. But you have so many kids that love arts and craft, that love vigorography, that love producing something on social media. There are so many things that our young people that has interest of doing that we have to intrigue them in doing so. There's a lot of our young people that want to study and increase their education. We have to have open libraries in which they can do that. Just a simple thing of checking out a book in Pritchard right now, we don't have those resources available to us. So those small things you do. And the most important thing that you have to do is show your youth that you love them, to show them that they are important, to show them that they mean something, to show them that this city cannot be what we're striving for it to be without them. And I know my personal kids need that admiration. I know that your kids possibly need that same. I know they do, because we all need someone to say, great job. We all need someone to say that stay on that path, that you're doing the right thing. Now, for those kids that want to tote the gun, that want to do things that's unlawful, they have to be dealt with. You have to have a court system that's going to make sure people are accountable for their actions. You cannot have someone shooting an occupied vehicle, shooting in occupied homes. Those type of things cannot be acceptable. But I do like to counter it by saying you have to be as aggressive for stopping crime on the positive as you are on the negative. Sometimes bad news travel farther, but we have to be a city where good news are traveling much farther. When that young man or that young woman is an honor student in school, when they're respectable in their community, when they're attending church and on the usher board, those things has to be honored just as well as when they score a touchdown or do some criminal act that caused them to go viral on social media. So those are the things that we are aggressively seeking to not only have a park of recreation that concentrates on sports, but concentrate on so many other areas in which the kids could astound their interest and their love and passion of what they would like to do.
Yes. Blunt and Viga High School both have their own stadiums at this moment. Y'all got that lovely Pritchard Stadium over there that's been condemned for a couple of years. Do you have any thought of what you can put there to make that part of the city vibrant again? And if so, please let us know.
Well, my vision for that area is that you have to change the dynamic of what it looks like. You can't ask people to come to an area that's overgrown grass, that doesn't have proper lighting. One beautiful thing about it is location. It's located on 65. If you're traveling anywhere headed south, you have to pass through Pritchard on Highway 65. I believe that we have one of the greatest opportunities of being able to house our middle school games there. We know that the high schools have their independent stadium. If that could be a middle school complex where most of your middle school games are being played. We also have other field activities such as soccer. I know that there's other fields in other neighboring cities that sometimes overcrowded. If we would entertain those type of soccer programs for kids and adults to be able to come out and to enjoy. Of course, there's a rental possibility. There's a possibility of having a venue to have small concerts and shows and things of that nature. But it has to be an intent to do better with what we're doing right now with Pritchard Stadium. The surrounding areas, you have neighbors there that desire for it to be improved. By working together and communicating, the city have mass property that's overgrown there at Pritchard Stadium. if it was at least cleared and clean where you can see potential ideas and thoughts of things that can take place, it would increase the flow of people that are interested in doing things at Pritchard Stadium. But we cannot turn a deaf ear and a blind eye to Pritchard Stadium. We can't ignore it because thousands of people are passing Pritchard Stadium every single day. And one of the visions I have is that it's a great place for a sponsor. It's a great place if it was beautified and the poles was erected that you can have sponsorship signage across Pritchard Stadium because of the traffic there on 65. So it could be a money source for the city of Pritchard. It was something that was built by the citizens of Pritchard. It's something that's owned by the city of Pritchard. And if you own something, it's much easier to get something off the ground that has no debt than to take something that you have to build and have a current debt to pay for. So right now, the restoring of Pritchard Stadium is definitely a must and a requirement for us, just for the imagery of the city being right there at Highway 65.
Yes. The revenue, if you get in the seat, have you put any thought to how would you help Pritchard increase the revenue? And if so, please let the citizens know without taxing the citizens. Have you put any thought to something to bring to the city, different diverse races to the city, building on some of the empty land in the city, to raise revenue for the city?
Well, the old saying is no taxation without representation. If you're not going to properly represent the people, you shouldn't be taxing the people. I believe right now we have companies that are not paying their fair share. We have companies that's required to pay franchise fees in the city of Pritchard. Companies such as fiber optics. There are so many fiber optic companies that's running underground right now in the city of Pritchard. Right now, we have crude oil that's coming from the Stake Dock downtown Mobile that actually passes through the city of Pritchard and being stored right there not far from Blount High School. We have a lot of traffic of people that have not been called to the table and saying that you're not abiding by the law and paying the city what is rightfully so. Of course, we have our court system. We have millions of dollars right now that is pending on our court system because we don't have a system in place that actually make people accountable in their ticket paying and other expenses like that they have accrued that we're not receiving right now. So between that $3 million, between $2+ million in our franchise fees, that type of money would make a tremendous difference in our police, our fire, our public works, and just the overall capital improvement of our city, especially our infrastructure. We cannot allow those type of funds to be unaccounted for the powers to be. You can't come in and make money off the citizens and then do not pay your fair share.
Yes. Do you have any plans? I know Alabama Village is a heartbeat for Pritchard. Do you have any plans to go in and develop Alabama Village? And if so, please explain to us.
Right now, one of the biggest things we have a spill of water that's occurring in Alabama Village that have not been identified. I think we have to reach out to every parcel owner, even though you may not have but 5 or 6 people that are still residing in Alabama Village, but out of respect, you have to go to those individuals. Hopefully, my vision would be that you can place them in a better situation, that you can counter what they currently have and put them in something better somewhere else. Because that entire area needs to be cleaned. That entire area needs to be identified as clear land for a vision and a goal in the future that could be something great in the city of Pritchard. Even a more better complex area, a rental space, sort of like the fairground. The fairground has open space. We have even more in the city of Pritchard if we cleared out that unused area. But of course, out of respect to those who are living there, that's their home. It's no different than my personal home. You can't just come into an area and tell a person they have to leave. You have to give them an alternative. And I think city of Pritchard have opportunity. We have the housing authority, Pritchard Housing Authority. We can come up with something that would offset what they currently have and put them in a better position, and then would allow the city to get in a form of development for that area.
Yes. Pritchard is growing in facet ways. Do you feel that you can open the doors in Pritchard and get some of the big corporations to come in to Pritchard to do business?
Yes, no doubt. We have a lot of corporations already here, but they have not been brought to the table. And they say if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. Of course, we have Greer's, not only the Greer's grocery store, but we have the Greer's warehouse that's located right here in the city of Pritchard. We also have AT&T that's located right here in the city of Pritchard. We have construction companies. We have concrete companies that are located and have found themselves right here in the city of Pritchard. We also have Frito-Lay that have moved from West Mobile, and through opportunity, they have moved to the city of Pritchard and built a new facility. Those type of industry we should welcome because we have the land. We have the mass land. Mobile can't go any further. They're backed up to the bay. They can't go any further west because Sims is now a city. So we're sitting here. If we was to market ourselves and show the acreage and the availability that we have Highway 45, Highway 65, 158, 165, 43. We have so many ways in and out of the city that a corporation would be able to service the surrounding areas at a much better cost to their bottom line if they were servicing their customers out of the city of Pritchard. So if we become industrialized to where we can attract different developers, attract different companies that actually need the proper staffing for his employment and also be able to distribute their product, we are a perfect city for that.
As you coming into this race, what do you feel the three most critical points is you getting in that office, the three most critical points that Pritchard need to work on ASAP, day one of your administration?
It has to be our finance. We cannot excuse the fact that we have to be accountable and transparent in our finances. That has to be first. There's proper software. There's things that we can do to make sure what comes in is authorized to go out. We have too much of things coming in and we haven't been authorized, things coming in that we haven't been identified that it's authorized to go out. That's one of the things that has to be done. The second thing, most important thing, is that we have to strengthen our police and our fire department and public works. We have to encourage our employees to stay here, and those employees that's not appropriate for this city, we have to attract new employees. We have to pay better. You can't ask someone to come here and their child is making more money at McDonald's than a police officer that's riding through the city of Pritchard. You can't do that. And you can't ask a person to come here and work without retirement. You have to establish retirement. We have the state of Alabama retirement system. We have to have proper retirement, proper pay, proper benefits. You can't ask a person to go home to their family and they can't insure their kids. That is not the job that anybody would want. So those type of things, those two major things. And the third thing, we have to change the concept of Pritchard. We have to change the culture. I think we should be titled the Love City because there's a lot of love in Pritchard. If you look at Blunt and Viger, if you look at the game that'll be played next week, there's a lot of positive things that comes out of Pritchard. There's many people that lives in Mobile and the surrounding cities and other states that grew up, that graduated from Blunt and Viger, that grew up in the city of Pritchard. There's a lot of citizens that have not left the city from a childhood now to an adult. So those are the three key things that has to change. We have to check our finances. We have to check our police, fire, and public works. And we have to check our culture, our belief of who we are, the messaging of who we are, and change the dynamics that we're separated as 8 Mile and Whistler and Pritchard. We're one city. We're the city of Pritchard. On September the 16th, 1925, we will be 100 years old as a city. We're not 8 Mile. We're not Whistler. We are the city of Pritchard. Of course, respectfully, those communities are respected and have been here for a long time. But for 100 years now, the whole entire area have been annexed to one city. So we should be outselling Pritchard. Let's sell and push Pritchard to the top.
I see the diversity downtown Mobile, black, white, living together. They ride the scooters together. If you make the term here, do you feel like you can make Pritchard another part of a diverse part of the city? And how would you reach out to make the people know that Pritchard is the best place to move and come look at Pritchard to get your land and home and all this? So how would you be able to diversify Pritchard?
Well, I like that term. May have to use it. Come home, come to Pritchard. Pritchard is a great place to live. But right now we are diverse. We're not totally black sometimes as our messaging. We just need those citizens to not be ashamed to represent the city of Pritchard. We have some beautiful homes. We have citizens that have retired here that of other nationalities, other than black American. But we have to allow them to have space too. Everything can't be driven around just our culture. That's another part of what I'm saying. There's a lot of family that have been raised here. There's a lot of people that have gone to Viger and now live in other places. You cannot be ashamed of where you're from. It's not where you're from, it's where you're at. It's where Pritchard at right now. Right now, where we're at is that we're going to have to expound upon the diversity of our city and show that, because that's one of our selling points to our business and companies that are coming into this area. That's a selling point to some of the families that we're inviting to this area, to let them know that we're not one-sided. Sometimes via the news, via social media, it just appears that we're the only ones here. That's not the case. I have white neighbors, and there's many other white neighbors throughout our districts, but we have to show the unity and the unifiedness of our city, that we can come together and have events, that we can have function that benefits all of us, that our kids, the kids attend school together, but then the adults are not having activities together that shows the diverseness of our city.
Yes. What would you regard on, how would you approach the street system in Pritchard with your public works department? Cleaning up, you got some potholes, you got some streets that's condemned, you need to come in and get those fixed. Some lights need to be worked, some stop signs need to be fixed up. So when your administration take over, what would be on the forefront for your public works department and your city streets to get up to par?
Right now, I was just speaking to someone. We have to identify. There's a lot of streets that I travel down that doesn't even have a street sign. Let me say it again. It doesn't have a street sign. You can't have 56% of your city can't even be identified. The other thing is that people have to have proper lighting and also proper numbering on their housing so they can be identified in time of emergency. And doing that combination of analyzing a cost analysis of where you are and prioritizing where you are. The one thing that we definitely have to do, we have to be professionals at potholes. That's just out the gate number one. Anytime someone called and said that there appear to be a pothole, no matter day or night, we have to respond, because the pothole can only get bigger as cars travel, as rain causes potholes to increase. We have to take care of it when it's at a dime size, when it's a quarter size. We can't allow potholes to get out of shape like we allowed it thus far. But basic technology, just a basic app, that if you see a pothole, that if you see an area that's dangerous to vehicle traveling, then you're able to go on and send that message to us, whether you live in Pritchard or not. Because a lot of people travel through Pritchard that goes to Sims and lives in Sims, that actually goes to Saraland and lives in Saraland, and that goes to Mobile and lives in Mobile. So if you see any fault from our roadway, consider reaching out to us and let us know. But we have to have the proper response to that. The other thing is the law requires for us to have a capital improvement plan. Within our annual budget, we have to have a capital improvement plan. We have to have a cost analysis of what it's going to cost us to restore our roads and our right-of-ways. Right now, we also need to use our bidding practices. We're able to bid on things that the state have bidded on, which gives us a much greater rate for asphalt or equipment that we must have to restore the roads and the right-of-way. And then our water drainage. Most of the time, your road damage comes from water runoff. If you don't control the water, you're not going to control the conditions of your road. So right now we have too many ditches that has to be covered. We have too many open drains that has to be covered, because when you fill your streets and a car travels it, you're soon to have a pothole. You're soon to have damage. So our infrastructure is a great part of what we're going to have to do to convince people that not only you are safe to come here, but your vehicles are safe too to come in the city of Pritchard.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. We are talking to the great Lorenzo Martin. August the 26th, he will be running for the mayorship for the city of Pritchard. I reached out to him. He came on, and I wanted him to let his spiel loose on how he feels the direction of Pritchard. He want to see Pritchard go under his leadership and his staff. Before you leave, Mr. Martin, could you please let the people of Pritchard know, under your leadership, where you are looking to guide the city of Pritchard for the next 4 years?
Let me tell the citizens of Pritchard that I'm invested here. I've been here since I was 21 years old. And I jokingly say that my house is on a slab, which means I can't pick it up and take it anywhere. We're rooted here. Not only have we raised our children here, but we're soon to have a grandchild that will be here presiding with us in the city of Pritchard. So it is serious that we have a continuous growth. I am an underdog. I'm the person, if I'm watching the game, I pick the losing team at the current time, but they have time to regain themselves, time to come back and win. Pritchard is a lifeline for so many people. It helps so many people. So many people have passed through the city of Pritchard. So many people have been encouraged through the city of Pritchard. We owe it to the past and the present to do better than what we've done. But I'm so committed and so obligated to not only attempting to do what's right, but to further your education, to learn from neighboring cities, to see what works in other cities, to see what works in Birmingham or as far as Atlanta. Some of those things we can implement right here in the city of Pritchard, but the ultimate goal is what's best for the citizens. Quality of life has to be top priority. If a person is living and desire to live in the city of Pritchard, they should be assured that they're going to be assisted in those things outside of their control, such as their roads and right-of-ways, such as their first responders, police and fire and public works, such as their mail being delivered to the right house because they have street address and numbers properly listed. Those things are vital and very important. And as a Lorenzo Martin administration, I would be transparent. I would be open. I would also be acceptable to the things of growth and progress. There's 4 major areas that we must cover in the city of Pritchard. We must recover, restore, repair, and replace. We must recover, restore, repair, and replace. Our recovering is our first phase. In my first 120 days, we would have a comprehensive plan on phase 1 of recovery. We have to identify our boundaries. There's a lot of other neighboring cities that have encroached upon the city of Pritchard that are taking revenue from the city of Pritchard, that are acquiring property that belongs to the city of Pritchard. And we also must recover and then restore. We have property that are dormant right now. We have property that has to be restored. And then we must repair. There's a lot of repairs, such as our infrastructure, our roads, our drainage that must be done. And then we must replace. It's sad to say some things has to be replaced, whether it be person, place, or thing. It has to be replaced. But you must first evaluate and give accountability to it and make sure that's the right thing to do. And one thing in my administration, you're not firing anybody. They fire themselves. You raise the standard of employment. You raise the standards of your police and your fire and your public works. And you meet those standards or else. No one is saying that someone has to be perfect, but you have to come to work willing to work diligently for the citizens of Pritchard. It has to be a passion. It has to be something that you desire to do and desire to see happen. My grandparents started here in the city of Pritchard. My grandfather's birthday is on the same day of the establishment of the city of Pritchard, September the 16th. My grandmother passed away and lived their whole life right here in the city of Pritchard. So we have loved ones that have passed on and loved ones that are still here that are saying, let's do something. Let's do a good job in the city of Pritchard. And using Deion Sanders' slogan, we're coming. We're coming. Here we come. With the Lorenzo Martin administration, we're coming. We're coming to do the best job we possibly can. We're coming 110% to give the citizens of Pritchard all that I have. I am a Pritchard-built leader, Pritchard-built servant. Pritchard allowed me not only to be a certified elected official, but I have an advanced certification as an elected official. Pritchard allowed me, by not being voted in as mayor on the last term, to go back to school and acquire 2 degrees, 1 degree in business and a degree in legal studies. I am for furthering my education. I don't think I know it all. I think you should have the proper people around you with the knowledge that you've been blessed and been given to take this city to a new height. This is a place that can be all that we have imagined it to be, with the vibrant downtown, with the growth of Highway 45. And right now, you all, there's a housing shortage, not only in Mobile County, but throughout the state. And Pritchard should lead the way. We should lead the way building more houses unknown to anyone outside of Baldwin County. Right now, Baldwin County holds that title. But Pritchard could do that because we have vibrant land and we have the space and we have the infrastructure, if taken care of and built, that we can accommodate the people. At one point, Pritchard had over 40,000 citizens. Right now, we're on the 18,000. We're less than half of where we used to be. So we have the space and have the room. While other areas are trying to build apartments, we're concentrating on building homes. We're concentrating on single family homes. Come and own a home. When you graduated from high school, one of the most cost efficient things that you can do is get you a place to stay, a place to call home. And Pritchard can be that place. It is affordable. It's not affordable being cheap. It's the same quality of lumber, the same quality of brick. It's the same quality of concrete. The only difference is that we have an opportunity for a city that's been dormant for so long to be able to get better pricing and to be able to have the same equity that you would have in our neighboring city. It's the same equity that you can acquire for your home ownership right here in the city of Pritchard. But last but not least, I thank everybody for listening to me at the sound of my voice. And I've committed over half of my life to the city of Pritchard. And I will continue to commit myself because I believe the growth of Pritchard and the change that is coming, that change is not long. Some say how long? Not long. Long enough for you to vote for Lorenzo Martin on August 26th in the city of Prichard.
Well, we greatly appreciate your time, Mr. Martin. You've been a blessing. And for the ones that came in late, he did mention that he do have a business in Mobile, and he do have 2 businesses in Prichard. I know I was getting a lot of that, so he did address that. He addressed a lot today. Go back and look at the video. Mr. Lorenzo Martin is a good friend. He's a hardworking man. He's a family man, and we hoping him the best August the 26th. I thank you so much for your time, my brother. God bless. And ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you again. Thank you again. I hope I cleared up everything that you answered me. Lo,
Yes,
thank you once again for having me. And I know you had that big question about my business again. I want to make that clear that I have a family business. And the Bible says a good man leaving inheritance for his children. So I had a business before I was running for mayor of Prichard. And it's a hard ask to ask a person to relocate only because you're running for office. That's just not fair. That's not logical. And in business, you have contracts. And you can't avoid your contract just because you want to relocate. That's not how business go. But that's one of the things I bring to the table to be able to allow our young people to learn entrepreneurship on how contracts and finding the right location, how that makes a difference in your business. And right now it's very difficult to end a contract and to reestablish somewhere else only just because I can safely say that I'm in that city. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to my future grandchild or my son and daughters of being that type of person. And for your listeners to be able to not understand that you cannot uproot your life. You are electing Lorenzo Martin as mayor. Lorenzo Martin is on the ballot. Lorenzo Martin Sr. is on the ballot. Lorenzo Martin Jr. is off limits. Jemiah Martin is off limits. Amber Martin is off limits. Tamoney Lee is off limits. And my beautiful wife, Valerie, she's off limits. Even though she desired to serve and stand with me. Those are just bonuses for the citizens of Prichard. That's not a requirement. The requirement is for me to abide by the law and do the job that I promised to do as mayor.
Well, we thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on. I greatly appreciate it. And good luck on August the 26th. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad y'all came in. Please share if you got any family members or friends that live in the city of Prichard. That was the great Lorenzo A. Martin Sr. He's on the ballot for August the 26th. He will be running for mayorship in this great city of Prichard, Alabama. And I'll be doing this all week. I want my fans that's locally to understand that Big Truck Entertainment is more than just music. We're trying to get diverse. Tomorrow night, we will have the great Paul Prime in the building. Paul Prime will be here to answer some of the questions that the city of Mobile, as he's getting geared up to try to take that mayorship. And as y'all know, Stanley Simpson is retiring. And tomorrow afternoon, about 4 o'clock, we will be with the great Paul Prime. So thank y'all so much. Please share the content. I think it was great. Mr. Martin did an excellent job. And man, we just gonna grow this city and grow Prichard in the right direction. And I think this guy really want to take it in the right direction. So thank y'all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I am Mr. Grown and Sexy Djlo. Thank y'all again. God bless. Good night.